Once again, time for the Sunday recap, Week 18 edition. Can't believe it is finally here. Regular season is almost over. One game left tonight at 8:30. We will, or 8:25. We'll give you the picks that we have for it later on. As always, Kevin Bunk, Michael Merlo, PTO Media, Sunday nights at 7:30. We appreciate you sticking with us all season long. And now into our final one. Bad slate today. Way too many 4 o'clock games. Awful 1 o'clock games. We're going to hit everything. Draft positioning, Black Monday, which coaches and GMs are sticking around, getting fired. But first, let's just start quick. Saturday night, Seahawks get the 1 seed. Niners get shut down all night long. Seattle looks like the best team in the league. We were texting last night. They should be the Super Bowl favorite. Your thoughts right now, about 24 hours later, a little bit under 24 hours later on the Seahawks.
Yeah, and they are the Super Bowl favorite, Kevin, and rightfully so. That defense is unbelievable. How do you beat that defense? How can you confidently pick anybody to go into Seattle and beat that team? I just don't think you can. And the only way you beat them, right, is if Darnold hands you the game. He handed the Rams that game in LA in the middle of the year, right? Other than that, I don't think you can beat this football team. They're that good. They're the Super Bowl favorite, and they are for a reason. And I'm excited to watch Sam Darnold in the postseason now as a true favorite. They are the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and he's playing so well, playing so confident. I'm pumped to see him in this spot in 2 weeks.
Obviously, we hit on a bunch of the stats, not even us, but everyone that's in the football talk world. Darnold, first quarterback to win back-to-back 14 or win 14-plus games in back-to-back seasons. First to do 13-plus game wins with back-to-back seasons on different teams. Excuse me for fumbling the words there. But I just want to read this stat to you quick. I didn't even send it to you just in case you didn't see it. On the 49ers, San Francisco is the only team in the NFL that has not won a game when trailing by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter since 2017. They're 0-46 in such games. And 0-47 now.
I think if the stat's correct, since Shanahan's been there.
Yes, that is Shanahan's tenure.
If you lower it to 7 points, I think they're 1-38 entering the fourth quarter.
Crazy.
As good as he is, that's kind of been his bugaboo ever since he's been there.
And I'm looking through games last night and just going through my head, and I'm like, when did Shanahan's never had, and this is not even to knock him because they've been so good with him, but he's never had that game where you're like, wow, Niners came back and won.
And again, last night, we talked about it over text, Coach of the Year. Feel like that game was for Coach of the Year. I put out a video on Monday, I think it was, saying that he should be the Coach of the Year. I mean, granted, with everything he's dealt with this year, this is, just to pile on his greatness, but with everything he's dealt with this year, he deserves to be, I think, second. But the winner of that game, I could get behind giving them Coach of the Year, and obviously McDonald, I think, probably should be at this point.
McDonald should get it. Just think about, and Schneider should get Executive of the Year. Bringing in Darnold, new quarterback. I know they won 10 games last year. I think they won 10, maybe 9 last year. You come in, you win 14 this year. You win that division. And it's not just bringing in Darnold. And as much as we could praise Darnold, he wasn't like Josh Allen this year, where you were just like, wow, he's just carrying this team, taking them to a new level. They by far have the best roster in the league.
It's been a great roster. I looked at the numbers last night. I was looking for something else, and I had his full season stats. And you're like, oh, he had a really good year, but it wasn't even close to last season, where you could have argued he could have been in the top 3 of MVP voting.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. So, I mean, we'll talk a lot more about them and the seeding of that game. We'll go through the full playoff brackets in a moment, but want to just rip through the rest of these games. How about the Broncos locking up the 1 seed? We don't really talk much about the game. Chargers kind of didn't even go for it today. They backups all over the field, but just Broncos, Seahawks as the 1 seeds first and foremost. Maybe the most unexpected 1 seeds when you think about a preseason perspective on the league to now. For maybe you could have justified Denver. Nobody saw Seattle winning that division, getting the 1 seed. Crazy pair of 1 seeds.
I didn't have them making the playoffs. I think I called you crazy when you had them making the playoffs this offseason heading into the year. So 100%. Denver's weird, man, because even today, I understand it's an ugly game. I understand they're playing their backups, and yeah, you're playing for the number 1 seed, but it doesn't really have that big game feel for you. None of these did, and especially if you're on the field playing these backups, kind of feel like it's the same situation. But Like, how do you not like? I don't trust them, but I feel like I should because they are so great late in these football games. They are clutch. They're great in close games. And we saw the Chiefs get to a Super Bowl last year, winning all these one-score games. Now, obviously, they didn't win it all, but if you picked the Chiefs and thought the Chiefs were for real last season, like I did, I think you have to say the same thing about Denver, right? Even though they don't have the even close to the same quarterback, like the quarterbacks aren't on the same level. But I feel like you have to pick Denver if you liked the Kansas City last year because they're the same team.
And the quarterbacks aren't totally on the same level. Obviously, I'm not going to say Knicks is Mahomes, but if you think about the perception on Mahomes versus Knicks, as in terms of just how explosive the offense is, they feel very similar.
100%. And I think even going back to last season, like, is Denver's running game better than what Kansas City's was last year? I think it probably is. With
probably
Harvey.
Is. Yeah, it probably is. And if they get Dobbins back for the AFC title game, which I was reading today, that's probably in the cards. Getting to the AFC title game for them is not going to be easy. First of all, I mean, it's no lock that them or Seattle get in. This is the most unpredictable playoff bracket I think I've looked at in a really long time. Where I have even in the first round, like, very tough to gauge a lot of the games. But we'll talk more about it, of course, throughout the whole episode. But yeah, you're right. The two very similar teams, and I think Denver passed them this year for most one-score wins in a season. I think last year Kansas City was the record holder, and then a few years ago there was another team that I can't remember that was just as many games, like 11 one-score wins or something.
If you had to pick right now, one of these teams you feel more confidently in getting into the Super Bowl one seeds, would it be Kansas City, Denver, or Seattle?
It would probably be Seattle for me. I think I feel much more confident in Seattle with the home field advantage. I think their defense is better than Denver's, which is crazy to say because you like there's no wrong answer between Seattle, Denver, or Houston having the best, even Philadelphia having the best defenses in the playoffs. But I'd almost trust Seattle more. The run game is insane. And I think that they just have, at every single position, they can stack up and probably be better than anyone.
I would agree with that. I feel better, even in a tougher, I would say, NFC, I would feel better about Seattle getting there than Denver. I don't think it's going to be Denver, and I don't think it's going to be New England.
Yeah, no, I don't either. We'll keep talking about it, though. The Bucs-Panthers situation yesterday, which I think we all could have kind of seen coming when Tampa Bay wins that game yesterday, and Atlanta's been playing the way they've been playing. Crazy situation.
Don't go back to just Saturday. When Atlanta beats the Rams on Monday Night Football, I think we could have seen it coming this way. And I have to say something, like, it added some excitement to that game, which would have meant nothing otherwise. At 1:00, that was really like the one game you could lock into and say, okay, this has some importance to it. Yeah. But isn't it kind of stupid that Carolina gets in, even though they lost yesterday, because of this, because of the tiebreakers or whatever it was?
It sucks, and it's totally anticlimactic for them to have that happen. But I also just want to make this point now before I forget. Winning your division should not lock you into a home playoff game. No. I'm fine with the division getting you into the playoffs, even in these scenarios. I really don't care. I think the division has to mean something. It's great for scheduling. It's great for rivalries. But Carolina should not have a home game when the Rams and Niners have to go on the road, even Green Bay. But I'd be pissed if I'm a Lions fan too, because they go 9-8. Minnesota goes 9-8. They're not going to be in the playoffs. This crap division gets in. But even on the other side, the AFC North should not be getting a home playoff game. You have 6 teams that won 11 or more in the AFC North. What's it going to be? 9 gets you in, or 10 gets you in? Maybe 9 if Baltimore wins. They're 9-8. They're going to get in with that. So no matter what, and this is not uncommon, both 4 seeds have home field advantage, and they both have the worst records in their playoff bracket.
And I remember seeing this. I don't even know if you brought it up to me or I saw it on social media or something, but I had seen like some kind of fix for the way you do the seeding and who gets the home playoff games. Like, obviously the division has to matter. So you go the top 2 seeds, right? You go top 2 seeds in each conference. You get the bye, and then you get the home playoff game. The 2 seed gets the home playoff game, and everything else would be by record. In terms of how you structure who gets home playoff games, not who gets in the postseason. I agree. You win your division, you get in.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense. 8 and 9 gets them in. That's
crazy.
Weird. It is weird that how did this work out too? Like, how did Atlanta
division
have a role
division
in this.
record, I think.
But they would have the division records didn't change. It's like it's got to be like strength of division schedule or something. I don't even know. I have no idea what it is because they're all in the same division. Their schedules are the same. Tampa and Carolina. I think their strength of schedule at least wouldn't have changed from yesterday to today with Atlanta because both teams have Atlanta on the schedule. So it's going to move the same way. They split head-to-head. Their division games wouldn't change because by the end of yesterday, Carolina and Tampa Bay had both played all 6 division games.
You want to piss people off right now?
Sure.
Based on the way these teams have been playing for the last month, obviously it doesn't go by this, but based on the way the teams have been playing the last month, which 2 teams deserve to be playing for the division today?
Wow. Atlanta and the Saints.
It's Atlanta and the Saints. Those 2 teams I think, are better than currently right now than Carolina and Tampa Bay.
I think the Falcons were the best team in the division this year. All they had to do was beat the lousy Jets in November or not let Bryce Young throw for 480 against them in a win. I mean, that's why they're not there, but they win as many games.
And if the Saints go to Tyler Shuck a little bit earlier, are they in the postseason right now?
They might be. Yeah, they might be.
As bad as that, I mean, it's not an awful roster. It's not one of the worst in the league, but it's certainly not a great roster in New Orleans right now.
What a slop division race that was this year.
How about Kellen Moore? Good for Kellen Moore. Yeah, that looked like a dead-end job. That really looked like a dead-end job last offseason. And he drafts this guy in the second round, and now they have some sort of future. And you've been on Shuck for a very long time, so I give you credit. But like that, he did a great job. And there's a future there right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're going to win that division for a few years in a row. It just feels like they're in such a better opportunity.
Now we're taking the next step to Shuck's going to run the NFC South.
Shuck's going to it takes 8-1 to run the NFC South. So, or 8-9 to you just get a random game the day after you blow your season.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I know Maddie's like probably joking around here.
He's not.
But I kind of agree. I mean, this is the team out of at least the 2. If I were LA, I would have wanted to get Tampa Bay. I would have hoped Tampa Bay got in.
There's a reason why they played their starters today.
And Carolina is, coming off a loss. Are they the best team in the NFL?
That's a good point. That is a good point. I'll say this. I think the Rams probably win this game by 2 touchdowns. But like, if you told me this is a close game in the first half, I can't wait to get to like later on. We need to predict how they're gonna schedule these games, where they're gonna schedule it. We'll bring it. I'll bring up the sheet. And
we did that last year too. That was fun. So
we did it last week, and we were completely wrong.
Yeah, well, that NFL blew that, and ESPN, NBC killed us there because we all knew how it should have went. But I'm excited for tonight's game because last night's game was kind of a dud, anyways. But next thing we have to touch on here, because we're going to start getting all over the place in a second. We just did Panthers. You want to go playoff picture and do that now, or you want to go straight to Black Monday?
I'll save Black Monday. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go to we'll do the playoff picture.
All right, playoff picture. Basically locked in. If you haven't seen it, Broncos, Seahawks, 1 seeds, as we just said. Is Chicago the 2 or the 3 seed?
They're the 2.
Okay, so round 1, you're getting Seattle, Green Bay. Or, I'm sorry, Chicago, Green Bay again. You're getting Philadelphia, San Francisco, Panthers, Rams. In the AFC, you're getting Chargers, Patriots, Bills, Jaguars. Great game.
Great game.
Texans, and then AFC North winner. You want to go through where you would place these games in the weekend?
Yeah. All right. So I just pulled it up. So you have 2 Saturday, you have 3 Sunday, and you have the 1 Monday night on ESPN. It's obviously an 8:00 game, 4:25, 8:30 Saturday, and then 1, 4, 8 on Sunday.
So before you start, I wanted to send this to you because I know we always talk about this stuff. Did you see the tweet? I should have saved it, about the Texans normally playing in that early window on Saturday and how it's, I forget how they said it, but basically like it's an invitational. Like Texans always host that early Saturday game. Carolina might have disrupted this.
100%. 100%. So this is how. All right, you want to predict or you want to do how we would do it?
Let's do both. Let's go spot for spot and say how we would do it. So what is it? It's on Saturday. It's a 4:30 and an 8:30.
4:30 and an 8:30. Obviously, the times aren't exact, but you know, 4:25, 8:15.
And then it's Sunday 1, 4, 8.
And then obviously the Monday Night
Football.
6 games. All right. So I think because you have the Rams in this game, I think they're probably the 1 o'clock game on Sunday. That's why I think Texans is going to still be on the Saturday.
Okay.
But I think Texans are the first game on 4:30.
Well, the interesting thing about Texans, though, if you get Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, viewership spikes versus, I think, Houston, Baltimore. Even though Baltimore will still do well, Pittsburgh gets all these night games.
Pittsburgh does, and that could be the Saturday night game, but they're not going to do anything more than that. They're not going to put them on Sunday, and then it just completely debunks the night thing, because then I'd put them at 1 if you had to play Pittsburgh on Sunday. I still think Baltimore does well, though, but I would agree with you. It's more
right. So we'll say 4:30 Saturday is Houston versus AFC North.
Yes. Saturday night is Buffalo-Jacksonville. It's a great game. You mentioned it's an excellent football game. Just can't see them putting Jacksonville in a Monday night or Sunday night scenario.
Yeah.
So I think Saturday, and listen, it'll obviously do well. It's still Saturday night. They're still going to do great. So I think Saturday night's Buffalo, Jacksonville.
And then Sunday at 1, you're going Rams, Panthers.
Rams, Panthers, Sunday at 1. Remember, they've done this before too. They had that Buffalo game, Buffalo, Denver, was that last year?
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago, whenever it was. They had the Buffalo, Denver game. It was last year.
Yep.
So like usually this 1 o'clock game is one of those teams that shouldn't have gotten in or just got in against a really good team. This is that.
I think Pat's Chargers would have to come next.
Yes, I would agree. 4:25, you're going Pat's Chargers.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's a great game. It feels like a 4:25 game. It's two teams that not many people trust New England still. It's going to be another real test for New England. And the Chargers here, they good team, great coach, but they're banged up. They're banged up.
So the 2 games we have left, Eagles, Niners, Packers, Bears, both NFC games are left.
Very interested to see what you do here. I think I know what the NFL is going to do, and I actually think it's easy too. So I would go. I want to hear what you say. So you go first.
That's really tough for me. Easy for you, tough for me. I'd probably put Eagles, 49ers on Sunday, Bears, Packers on Monday.
I'm going the opposite. I go Bears, Packers on that Sunday night. Because it just feels like that one of those rivalry games on a Sunday night. It feels bigger on Sunday night. I don't care about Monday Night Football having Troy Aikman and Joe Buck as much as I love them. I don't give a rat's ass. And I know the Eagle fans are great, and I know the San Fran fans are great, but this game is going to rate better. It's just going to rate better.
It's interesting you said that because, and I don't know which game would rate better. I think it would be pretty close. But I think the Sunday night slot's bigger.
I do too.
So I put what I thought was the better game there.
I would agree with you that that's the better game. I'm not disagreeing there.
So you just like the rivalry kind of aura of the Packers Bears.
Right. And it's no guarantee, we know this, that the better game doesn't always rate better. A lot of times it doesn't, because Dallas rates the best out of anybody in the entire league. So
yes,
that's why I would go the rivalry game on a Sunday night. I also just a weird feeling, this could just be me, but I also just feel like Sunday night is meant for these big rivalry games, like they went tonight, and they gave Sunday night this great rivalry for a division. Although it's not the greatest game in the world, it's still for a division, and it's one of the most heated rivalries in the entire sport.
Are lines out for these games yet? No.
I'll check them. They are.
They are? Okay.
Come on.
Because I want to hit a little guess, run through them quick.
All right. You want me to look, or you want to guess?
No, you guess.
All right. I can't screenshot it and send it to you, though.
No, you can't. I'll pull them up.
Okay. You got to do it. They're up.
Yeah.
I kind of went through them on Wednesday because they had the potential lines out, but I don't remember a lot of them, and a lot of them are going to have changed. But
it's a good slate. It's a good round one slate.
It's a great round one slate. I mean, outside of one game, which is Rams Panthers, it's great. And I think I think the Texans win, but I could see that being a close game regardless of who wins tonight.
All right, we'll guess the lines here, and then we're going to jump into the Black Monday draft implication stuff for people who are hanging around for that. Chargers at Patriots. Guess the line.
Chargers at Patriots. I will go Patriots -3.
Yeah, -3.5. New England.
Okay.
Buffalo at Jacksonville.
I think I just heard this one. I think Buffalo's -1.5.
Yeah, they are. I would flip it too if I was making the lines. I think Jacksonville's better.
Yeah, that's fine. I when we guessed it on Wednesday or Thursday, I guessed this and I was right. And I think, like, just based on the way Vegas goes and trends towards the better quarterback, like, I'm not surprised that they're the favorite here.
Packers, Bears in Chicago.
I think the Bears are -5.5.
-1.5.
Jesus Christ.
Big miss there. Rare big miss from you there.
Yeah, that's bad.
49ers at Philadelphia.
I'll say Phillies -3.
Yep, -3. Right on. And the last one, Rams at Panthers.
7.5.
10.5.
Yeah,
Rams
this is not even close. Like,
what do you
don't
think?
have to watch this game.
What do you think? Obviously not out yet. Houston, Pittsburgh would be.
Houston, Pittsburgh. I think Houston is -2.5.
And then Houston, Baltimore.
Baltimore's -2.5.
All right. That's the playoff picture. You want to make any predictions now or come back with them at the end of the week?
Yeah, I want to do something at the end of the week. We'll get that done.
All right, we'll come back with the end of the week predictions. But now let's hit some Black Monday stuff.
Yeah.
Who stays? Who goes? And I know you have a lot of passionate thoughts on the rumors we heard today, but to recap some of the rumors, Steichen and Ballard were a little shaky all week, it sounded like, but they've already committed to him for 2026. Both coach and GM are back in Indianapolis next year. Giants obviously have an opening. Titans have an opening. I think both GMs are definitely staying. So then you get to the mix of Kevin Stefanski reportedly going to get fired tomorrow. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, Stefanski gets fired. I wouldn't fire him, but Stefanski will be fired. I can understand Cleveland wanting a fresh start, but I would keep him. But he's fired, and I think he's hired almost immediately. I don't think he has to wait a year for a job. I think he's hired this cycle.
How about in Cincinnati with Zach Taylor, who seems to be safe?
Yeah, Taylor stays. I would agree with what they're saying. I would let him go. They're going to give him a pass because they miss Burrow. They're going to give him a pass because the team's poorly constructed and the defense sucks. But I think you could do a lot better. Like, I think right now, if you can have one coach, it doesn't matter the team. Would you take Stefanski or would you take Zach Taylor?
Stefanski. Wouldn't even think twice.
I wouldn't even think about it. Okay, so they have had the worst coach in the league since really Taylor's been there in the division. Excuse me, not the league.
Do you think that Carroll's done in Vegas? Definitely.
I had a dream that John Gruden got rehired. Like, I was in a supermarket and they announced it over the supermarket speakers.
Wow.
That John Gruden was rehired because of what you told me a couple weeks ago, that Vegas is still paying all these coaches that they fired. Yeah. They're still paying Gruden, so easy. Just slot him in. He's already being paid by us. But he's gone. Carroll's gone.
Did Raheem Morris save his job this week?
Yeah. I don't know how I would go. Like, I think I would fire him, but they did a great job towards the end. They really did play well. I just don't think they have a quarterback there, but I think they keep him.
I think they keep him too, at least one more year. But how about Fontenot, the GM there?
I mean,
I don't see how you keep Morris and fire Fontenot, but I think Fontenot's terrible.
If you told me that they fire the GM and it meant you had to fire the coach, I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
Even, with what Morris did at the end of the year, because he's terrible. But, yeah, I think he'll probably stay. Like, Blank doesn't like firing people. Like, our whole lives, he's held on a little too long to basically everybody.
One thing I will say about the Falcons, everybody ripped him for trading that pick for James Pierce, but he is a monster. He is so good. He was supposed to be this top 10 player, but he had the character issues. Everybody who actually knows football was saying he might be the best edge rusher in the draft. And this year, you look at the draft that's coming up. What pick did they give up? Like 14 or 15? He'd easily go in the top 15 picks of this year's NFL draft. So James Pierce, maybe the defensive rookie of the year. insane rookie season, 10.5 sacks. They had the most sacks in Falcons franchise history as a team, and they've been trying to get to that. So if we want to give any props to Atlanta this year, that's one that I think a lot of people, including us, could put the hand up and say we jumped at that too early.
Well, because we've been looking mid-year, and we're looking at mock drafts, and the Rams have the 5th pick in the draft.
And at that point, when we made that first video, probably late October, Pierce had like 2 sacks.
Yeah.
And a lot of pressures, but it didn't feel worth it right away. Now the full body of work's there, and he was really good. Back to the coaches.
Like my guy Abdul.
Your guy Abdul, yeah, he's
playing well. He's back at practice.
Cardinals, Gannon's gone 15-35 in 3 years. They are obviously moving off Kyler Murray. He wasn't Gannon's quarterback, but I think he's safe, but I would just dump him.
You think he's safe? I get the feeling.
Safe.
I get the feeling this is one of those coaches, like situations where we just don't know a lot. Like we haven't heard safe or hot. And like tomorrow we read that he's fired. I think he's gone because I just think there's nothing there. So like, I guess I give him a pass, but is he like elevating anything whatsoever? They were an embarrassment this year.
Terrible.
Especially the way they finished the year.
I just think he's safe because I think they're going to give him, have your non-Kyler Murray year and see what you can put on the field with him and the GM. And like, this is your shot. You got to show me it's better.
But like, how many games did Brissett even start for them? Like, didn't he get he got most of the year?
I think he started like 9 games or the 12 games for them because I think Kyler only started 5.
And Brissett wasn't awful.
No, he wasn't. Their defense hasn't been good at all with Gannon.
Right.
They're in year 3, and they've put a lot of resources into the defense, and it's terrible. And, they've drafted awful. Marvin Harrison has not been good through 2 years, and that's a 4th overall pick. He has just not looked like a real playmaker.
When you had an all-pro, a potential all-pro tackle go right after him.
Yeah, the 2 picks after him, it's Alt and Neighbors. One guy was hurt this year, unfortunately. Both guys were hurt this year, unfortunately, but in year 1, both clearly better, and one of them's at the same position.
Yep. Not a good look. Not a good look.
What about the games tonight? Tomlin, Harbaugh, anything real there? Harbaugh's had a lot more smoke than Tomlin has. I don't think Tomlin gets fired in any scenario. But Harbaugh, it's weird.
Tomlin leaves on his own. If they lose tonight and, he knows that Rodgers isn't coming back next season, then I say he leaves and he goes and takes a TV job for a year or two and then, gets back into it. But he's not getting fired. I have a hard time believing they're gonna fire Harbaugh. I mean, if you had a situation where I remember when we talked about it, the fans screaming for Mike McDonald to be promoted to head coach when Harbaugh was there.
Yep. When
it sounded crazy at the time. Like if they had somebody like that on the staff, I'd say okay, maybe they make a change, but they don't. No. I would be shocked if John Harbaugh was fired.
Did you send me the Chris Shula Steelers thing last night?
I did.
That's interesting because Shula, I really believe his connection to his grandfather and what he's done with the Rams. Like, it's not, if his last name was Marlowe, like he's getting a job this offseason anyways.
Yeah.
He's been that great, but having that connection, I think that these historic franchises, Giants with Mara, with the Rooneys in Pittsburgh, and then I know they're not historic, but they're always consistent in Baltimore. I think that those franchises would really be tempted by Shula. And then I think Miami, I was going to ask you about McDaniel next. I think Miami would love to get Shula in to be their coach because that is an all-time win offseason PR move with your fan base.
It is. I think they're going to look at GM candidates and like obviously they make the move now. But I think they have to seriously look themselves in the mirror. I think Aikman, who's going to be running this search, has to like look around and say, okay, I'm going to talk to this guy, and this guy to be my GM. Do I think that general manager, potential general manager, can do better or worse than McDaniel? I don't think in this cycle you could do much better than Mike McDaniel. And I know that's not a reason to keep somebody, but I think in this situation it should be because I think he's viewed around the league still as a really great offensive mind. And you got to give him somebody that's not Tua or Quinn Ewers at quarterback.
Yeah, you have to. And I'm not a huge McDaniel guy. He's 35-35 through 4 years now, including playoffs. But we said it last week. with the way the NFL goes now, the emphasis on X's and O's, this guy's the hottest commodity if he becomes available. And whether that's for an offensive coordinator, there's already rumors that Cleveland would love to make him the next head coach. No matter what his role would be, McDaniel would be in high demand this offseason if he became available. And I think for Miami right now, with where they're at, let's just keep him for another year or two. And I think a GM would come to work with him. He's not one of those coaches. It's not like if Atlanta fired Fontenot and said, you got to come work with Raheem Morris. I think there's a lot of GMs who would say, I'd love to put an offense in place for Mike McDaniel.
And I think he should be part of the search, by the way. I think he should be part of the general manager search. That's how highly I think of him, but we'll see if it actually gets there.
I think that's it for the Jets aren't going to fire Glenn.
The conversation is heated. Like, I understand they're not. Like, they said that they are keeping him. But, I mean, you go on social media, every group chat I'm in, in terms of talking football, like, everybody wants him fired. Everybody wants him fired.
Everybody does.
And
I also think part of it, first of all, they were terrible all year. Yeah. You didn't catch an interception. The freaking coach is a Pro Bowl cornerback, and they didn't catch a pick. They lost by 3 scores or more the last 5 weeks. And I don't know if this is like a defense or something that pisses me off. I don't think he's good, but they obviously tanked the last month. And that kind of pisses me off. But they had a healthy Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields, and they played Brady Cook, who was obviously not an NFL quarterback, for 4 weeks in a row intentionally with those guys healthy. I understood sitting Fields, but good God. I mean, you can't make it more obvious. And they sat everyone today.
Yeah, Taylor didn't play, right? Brees was hurt. He didn't play. I'll go hurt. It's becoming an issue around the league. Like we saw it with the Raiders 2 weeks ago last week against the Giants, and today they actually won. But even the Giants, I wouldn't even say the Giants were tanking, and they sat a lot of guys today. Like Wan'Dale didn't play. Theo didn't play. And then you sent me, and they won, and you sent me the freaking list of the Jets skill position players today. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit.
They'd almost all been cut or traded at some point in the season. That's impossible. That's impossible. And the guys who had it, it's like Jeremy Rucker, it's tight end 2. They're not. That was awful.
How long has Tyrod been healthy for?
It seems like he's been healthy the last 3 weeks.
Because he was injured, like him and Fields.
There was a legitimate week or two where Cook had to play.
Okay, the last 2 weeks, they could have gone to Tyrod or.
Even though I think Fields has been healthy the whole time, I just think that they got to a point where they couldn't keep, and I respect it, but like Glenn was like, I can't just keep putting him out there.
Well, I also understand the point of, well, Brady Cook's young, so let's see what he has, because if he turns into my potential backup quarterback for the next few years, like I also get that. But it did get to a point where this guy, you could just tell this guy sucks.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I played every defense in fantasy against him and won both my leagues. Like that was how bad it got. Where it was, they were carrying me to fantasy championships.
I just don't understand what Jet fans thought this season was going to be. Like I had friends that had incredibly high expectations for what this year was going to be because they thought highly of Justin Fields. Like the downgrade, and I'm not saying Rodgers was great last year or this year by any stretch of the imagination. But the downgrade from a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields, a banged-up Tyrod Taylor, and Brady Cook is like going from a top, like from Division I to the top high school quarterback in the league. I mean, that's how bad this quarterback room was. So what the hell was Aaron Glenn supposed to do, especially after they traded away his 2 best defensive players? So, like, what were we thinking? What did we think was going to happen this year?
I think part of it is just the fatigue that Jets fans have at this point. It's all frustration. It's nothing positive because there literally is not one thing this season. Because the fact that their first round rookie who was very good plays tackle does not help this at all. There was not one thing that Jets fans can hang their hat on from this year and say, I'm really excited about this in 2026. That's after 15 years of missing the playoffs. That's where you're just screwed if you were in this job and it went this way.
But how do you go out there and hire somebody to take?
That's why I would wait until next year. I'd give him a second year, mostly because I think I hate to even say this. I think that him taking the job earned him a second year. because it was not a good job a year ago. It wasn't a good job 5 years ago when it was open. It wasn't a good job 7 years ago when it was open. Like, it's never been a good job. You should get a second year. Doesn't mean you have to be excited about it. Doesn't mean, like, who's going to come coach them? It's going to be another one-off. Just like, none of these guys that you want to coach them are going to come coach them.
And you're gonna have a lot of draft picks, but I don't think they take a quarterback in the first round this year. So
that's why I'd also keep him.
Because you can't tell me he's going to ruin the development of a Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. If you tell me we're 100% taking a quarterback this year, that's the plan, then I would have another conversation. But you're not ruining the potential face of the franchise this year. And if you're taking a lot of defensive players, like, he didn't hurt the development of the tackles this year, did he?
No,
so then I don't really see how it hurts development of players, not a quarterback, if you bring them back.
They're going to have Kirk Cousins or Mitch Trubisky or somebody next year. I don't see the point in blowing it up right now. I think the best big picture scenario for the Jets, if Glenn does get fired, is it happens a year from now. They have a top 5 pick in the draft where there's 5 quarterbacks. They have 2 other first-round picks. They have 2 top 15 second-round picks. They keep the GM, and he gets to hire whichever offensive genius, which nerd is next up to come and take the job that's going to have the young quarterback, and the roster will be much improved. It's a dead-end spot right now. You can't open it.
You're hiring the worst possible candidate this offseason. It's essentially the David Culley, Lovie Smith situation.
Yeah.
If you fire Glenn and hire somebody this offseason. That's why I would just keep Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just rip through draft order quick, and then we'll wrap this up. A lot of shakeups today. Your first thoughts on the Giants winning 2 to end the year?
Yeah, it's becoming one of those things. It was a big thing with the Jets for years. It's now the Giants have taken that over. The Giants are really good winning late in the year.
Well, where are those stats?
I saw something today.
4-2. Yeah, the 4-2 in the last 2 weeks of the year.
Yep, I'll read it right now. I got it. It's on my phone right here. So the Giants won. So it starts off, if the Giants win today, they'll be 8-30 in their last 38 games. 4 of those 8 wins have been in week 17 or 18 when they're long eliminated from playoff contention and only playing for draft positioning.
Yeah.
That's what it's come to. Like, that's what this franchise has come to.
And we like Jackson Dart, and I had a lot of fun watching him today. And I think today was another game of, okay, you're definitely getting at least 4 years of trying to build around this guy and make it a contender. And coaches will be excited to come coach Jackson Dart. But they botched Drake May by beating the Patriots a few years ago. We know that. They ended up with neighbors. But they botched Drake May. They blew it, however many years ago with Chase Young, which worked out. They got Andrew Thomas. This year again, it's just, when you finally get into that mode as a fan of rooting for them to lose truly, and they're the first pick with 2 weeks left, and the coach isn't coming back, then it just sucks when they win both of those games.
Yep, 100%. It even last year, like, you want to make the argument that Cam Ward, you would have your opportunity with Cam Ward last year. It's frustrating, but hey, they beat Dak Prescott for the first time since his rookie year.
I was going to say that's big, even though he only played a half.
Yep.
They still can eliminate that stat.
That's gone. The new head coach comes in with a fresh start against Dak and the Cowboys.
The order right now of teams that are locked in, the top 15 is locked.
Okay.
It's Raiders, Jets, Cardinals, Titans, Giants, top 5. 6 through 10, Browns, Commanders, Saints, Chiefs at 9. Unbelievable. Bengals 10. And then 11 to 15 is Miami, Dallas, Rams at 13, Tampa Bay at 14, Jets pick again at 15 because the Colts traded their pick for them and then lost every game.
Nice. So just got 2 and 15 this year. And
let me just say this about draft order in the Jets. They got the second best pick in the draft, and it's not pick 2. Because the Raiders won today, they get pick 33. And I don't know if I've ever done this spiel with you, but after picks 1, 2, and 3 in the NFL draft, the highest hit rate on second contract players is pick 33.
The Jets have it.
The Jets have it. And it's because round 1 ends and you get 24 hours to see which one of your first round guys fell out of the first round, and you get to take them Carson Schwarzenegger was this past year. He might be defensive rookie of the year. Pick 33 rules.
So you're pumped. You've
I'm
gone
pumped for pick 33.
Times. So you got 2, 15, and 33. You're feeling good. You feel good about. Do you trust Muji? That's my first question for you.
Yeah, I do. I think the trades made at the deadline were great. I think he put the Jets in a position to actually be able to rebuild it. And he's a very, I know this is how it always goes, but really highly regarded guy. Like before they hired him, he's one of those young guys that just shot up. Deserves the real shot to see this whole thing through, even if it's not with Glenn. Remember, he didn't pick Glenn. Glenn picked him.
Yep.
So if he's doing a decent job and Glenn's not, Muji gets to have a say next year.
It's gonna be fascinating. I'm pumped for the draft. I know you love the draft. I love the draft, and I don't know where my team goes, but Mendoza locked in at 1, correct? I think that's like you think that's what's gonna happen.
Gotta be. Yep. I think so.
And then the draft starts with the Jets.
The draft starts with the Jets. Jets are on the clock.
Will Mendoza be the number 1 overall player in the draft?
No, I don't even think it'll be top 5 or
okay. So it'll be like Reese.
Reese is probably 1. Downs would be right there. Possible Giant at 5.
Yep.
Ruben Bain's going to be right there. He's dominating the college football playoff.
Yep. Okay. So the Jets getting the best player in the draft.
State. In theory, they should be, but it's the Jets, so
is Tyson ahead of Tate in your mind?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I haven't like dove in yet. I haven't watched that much Arizona State football this year, to be honest with you. But they the people I like to follow are like pretty confident in that evaluation.
Okay. Awesome.
And your Sunday Night Football picks tonight.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. I think the Ravens win a close game. I think Lamar shuts a lot of people up. If we go based on my takes that I've come out with in the last 2 weeks, I know I'm gonna get crapped on tonight. So I think Lamar plays a full clean game tonight. I think they win a close one in Pittsburgh, and I think the conversations about Tomlin become a little bit more real, but whether or not he wants to leave, and maybe we get an answer on Rodgers whether or not he's staying or not.
I was going to say, the one storyline that's not getting enough play and talk in this game is Rodgers. This could easily be his last game. I completely expect it to be his last game.
I actually don't expect it. I don't expect it to be his last game.
You think he plays next year?
I think he probably plays next year. Unless tonight just goes so poorly. Like it's disgusting. They don't have a chance in it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Because he said on McAfee before the season this was basically it, but he never gave it a real this is my last year thing either. So it's definitely the door's open to play next year. I think Pittsburgh wins tonight.
You think so?
I do. I don't trust Baltimore at all. They've been so inconsistent. Lamar has been, Huntley was a revelation last week against Green Bay. And I know Henry had the game, but Lamar just looked shot since coming back from injury. It doesn't look like he ever got healthy.
Maybe he's healthy now.
Maybe he's healthy now.
Maybe that's all he needed was all of this hate. And now he's back in. Now he's back locked in. I'm excited to sit down and watch this game. I'll tell you that. It has that big game feel.
And I'll just ask you one more thing that I wanted to hit on when we did the playoff brackets, but we didn't. It has nothing to do with Sunday Night Football. Green Bay losing 4 straight going into the playoffs. Concerning or not? Love didn't play a couple of them, but today doesn't matter too much to me with Clayton Tune playing, but they lost the 3 before that. They had something to play for last week with Willis against Baltimore, and they got killed at home.
I just don't think highly of them. So, I guess the answer would be yes. I don't think they win a playoff game, and I just think that's based on their injury situation.
Really weak strength of schedule this year, 480. They go 9-7-1.
I just weren't that great. They were never this elite team.
No.
Besides for the first 3 weeks of the year.
Yep. And without Kraft and Parsons, you just lose your 2 biggest game changers on each side of the ball.
So yeah, I think they're a first-round exit. I think Chicago gets them. Their defense has been playing really well lately. So especially today. They lose the game, but defense played really well today.
I know Packers fans are excited they're getting Chicago because of the familiarity, but I think Bears fans are also pretty pumped they're getting Green Bay.
I would.
You'd much rather Green Bay than San Francisco or the Rams.
100%. They'd lose both of those games.
All right, we'll be back later on in the week. If not tomorrow morning, if something insane happens tonight or in baseball, maybe we jump on tomorrow morning. But We'll be back at the end of the week with our playoff predictions, go through the whole bracket. We'll do all of our predictions, maybe even hit on a few regular season awards things once the dust settles here from this week 18. But thanks for sticking with us on the recap. This is year 3 of the recap in the books, and it's always our favorite show to do. So thanks a lot for following along with us. We'll be here throughout the playoffs, right up until the Super Bowl, and we enjoy doing it. We love doing it. We love the live presence. So thanks again, and we'll see you probably Friday morning for playoff brackets and awards and everything else. So enjoy the rest of the week.